HIV treatment can be a debilitating process that requires a strict adherence to daily drug routines. However, a groundbreaking injectable treatment is now being promoted as a viable alternative to these daily medications. A patient who is living with HIV in his daily routine, he has to take his oral prescriptions on a daily basis. It is the only way to block the infection from spreading. It is wonderful to think that daily drug could be replaced with fewer and frequent injections. AIDS is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, which tries to interfere with the body's ability to fight diseases. There is currently no cure for AIDS. It is therefore critical for those living with HIV to keep their virus at low level with the assistance of antiretroviral courses, which were previously available in the form of oral pills. According to the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, injections are just as effective as pills. The important benefit is that it provides a variety of treatment options for HIV, which has been one of the contemporary medicine's major achievements. But taking it a step further and decreasing the number of treatment days from 365 to 6 per year is a true paradigm shift and a new breakthrough. The new injection significantly reduces the number of treatment days. This is the outcome of a trial conducted by Queen Mary University of London, which found that 2 injections given once a month worked just as well as daily medications in 16 countries. Although there is no cure, the medication is already being utilized in parts of Europe, the United States, and Canada, with scientists reporting positive outcomes. While there is no cure, such advancements are a welcome indication of optimism for patients. People's lives have become more normal as a result of treatments like this. Japan is now looking to allow foreigners now in certain blue-collar jobs. This is to stay indefinitely for them. It can start as early as 22 fiscal. It will mark a major shift for a country like Japan that was long closed to immigrants. If revision takes effect, such workers mainly from Vietnam and China would be able to renew their visas indefinitely and bring their families with them also. Under the law that took effect in 2019, a category of specialized skilled workers in 14 sectors such as farming, construction, and sanitation, they have been allowed to stay for up to 5 years, but without their families. Government had been looking to ease those restrictions now, which had been cited by companies as among reasons that they were resistant to hire such help. If revision take effect, such workers, many from Vietnam and China, would be allowed to renew their visas and bring their families as said. According to government data, as of last year, Japan housed 1.7 million workers which were of foreign origin out of a total population of 125 million, and on that just 2.5% of its population is now a working population. Commander Kamala Harris will make history as the first woman to be elected President of the United States when Joe Biden is under anesthesia. He briefly transfers control to her. Biden will be put under anesthesia for a colonoscopy as a part of a routine health checkup. Then the Vice President will take over as President. This includes control of United States Armed Forces and nuclear arsenal. The Biden's appointment was described by the White House as a standard annual physical. This is the first physical examination the president has had since taking office in January. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. The 25th Amendment to the United States Constitution permits the president to delegate authority to the vice president freely. Two presidents have been involved in it 3 times so far. In 1985, George H.W. Bush served as an acting president, while Ronald Reagan underwent anesthesia for colon cancer surgery. When George Bush underwent anesthesia for colonoscopies in 2002 and 2007, Dick Cheney served as acting president. Now that the president's health has been a source of concern in the past, at the age of 79, Biden is the oldest US president in office. The health chair, on the other hand, comes at a crucial moment in his presidency. In a letter released by his election campaign in December 2019, Biden's position portrayed him as a healthy, energetic 79-year-old male who is fit to successfully carry out the duties of the presidency. According to the statement, Biden does not smoke or drink. He was vaccinated against COVID-19 very early and received a booster dose in September of this year. Following his release from the hospital, Biden will take part in the annual custom of releasing a presidential statement. The United Nations General Assembly has adopted a historic resolution to graduate 3 nations, including Bangladesh and Nepal, from the least developed country (LDC) category to developing country grouping, a major milestone demonstrating the country's significant development progress. The UN General Assembly adopted the resolution at its 76th section. The 3 countries that got clearance for graduation are Bangladesh, Nepal, and the Lao People's Democratic Republic. Rabab Fatima, Bangladesh permanent representative to the UN, tweeted, UNGA adopts historic resolution to graduate Bangladesh from the LDC category. What better way to celebrate the 5th anniversary of our independence and the birth centenary of Bangabandhu. Currently, there are 46 countries on the LDC list, according to UN Committee for Developed Policy. According to UN, per capita income of $1,230 is one of the requirements for transitioning into a developing nation. UN membership is revised every 3 years based on the average gross national income. Human assets, that means the level of population undernourished, under 5 mortality rate, gross secondary enrollment ratio, and adult literacy. Then comes the third point, economic vulnerability, which includes population, remoteness, merchandise export concentration, natural disasters, instability of agricultural production, instability of goods and services, exports, among other factors. Saudi Arabia, the most powerful nation in West Asia, it is under attack. Saudi has endured more than 240 strikes this year, 240 attacks, and Saudi Arabia is striking back. It is launching airstrikes it calls legitimate. Here is what happened 2 days back. Saudi Arabia was attacked. 14 armed drones targeted multiple cities in the country: Jeddah, Riyadh, Abha, Rizan, and Najran. Drones laden with bombs were dispatched to these cities. The target were Saudi Aramco oil facilities, military installations, and airports. Riyadh was able to defend itself, but who is behind all these attacks? Who attacked Saudi Arabia more than 240 times this year? It is Houthi rebels. Yahya Saria, Houthi military spokesman, says that total of drones were used in operations. Our armed forces stress that they are capable of carrying out more attacks against Saudi and immediate enemies as a part of our defense of land and nations. Houthis called Saudi their enemy, and they have been enemies for a while now. Houthis conducted their first attack on Saudi Arabia back in 2015. Since then, they haven't stopped. In 2015, there were at least 7 attacks by Houthis and Saudi Arabia. In 2016, there were 10 such events. In 2017, 9, next year 36 and 19 in 2020. And when it comes to 2021, 240 attacks and counting. Houthis have developed a range of ways to attack Saudi Arabia, from firing mortars into Saudi cities to sending fighters. But their favorite weapons are missiles and drones. And that is how they attacked Saudi Aramco facilities in 2019. This was the most ambitious attack by Houthis till date. The reason is the conflict in Yemen. The Houthis called themselves a revolutionary group in Yemen. After the Arab Spring, they called for Ali Abdullah Saleh to step down. Saleh was replaced by a weak leader Hadi. Hadi was backed by Riyadh, but under him, corruption, unemployment, and food shortages skyrocketed. Houthi capitalized on this and they took over Sana'a, the capital of Yemen. In a major development, British government has now decided to designate Palestine's Hamas as a terrorist organization, saying it will no longer differentiate between the group's political and military wings. UK Home Secretary Priti Patel said on Friday that the ban comes to bring UK stance on Gaza's rulers in line with the United States and European Union. She further argued that it was not possible to distinguish between Hamas' political and military wings, and the group will now be banned in its entirety. Patel is expected to present the change to Parliament next week under the new amendment. The organization will be banned under the Terrorism Act, and anyone expressing support for the group will be in breach of the law. The military arm of Hamas has been outlawed in UK since 2001, but the organization as a whole was not prescribed. Hamas responded in a statement saying that UK's decision to ban the group is a crime against Palestinian people and to their historical struggle. Iran's foreign minister, meanwhile, has also condemned UK's action of banning the group in a tweet. Criticizing the act, Iran's foreign minister said, and I quote, "Rights of Palestinians cannot be trampled by distorting the facts. Hamas, a Palestinian group that opposes Israel's existence, has governed the Gaza Strip since taking over the area in 2007. A year after it won a Palestinian election. Hamas is considered as a terrorist group by Israel, the US and European Union. Camels are at the heart of Somali traditional life and economy. They are prized for their milk, meat, and as a means of transport. But millions of herders are now giving up the traditional life and moving to cities. The changing climate has added to their troubles, forcing them to travel long distance for water and for grazing camels. Camel caretakers are always on the lookout for grass for their camels in Somali's desert. After hours on search, there is nothing better than a drink of fresh camel milk. One of the camel shepherds says that he drinks camel milk because it is nourishing. The milk is good for health. Camels gaze from trees with medicinal properties that helps to fight diseases. He has 5 children and they all depend on camel's milk to survive. Camels mean life for them. They are his transport and their meat and milk are food and income. The animals are immensely important here. In Somalia, camel means status. The cattle market manager explains camels are very important in Somalian culture because someone is considered to be rich or can rise to social status according to the number of camels he has. There are 7 million camels almost one for every two Somalis. Beyond status, they are a valuable investment. A healthy camel can sell for up to $1,000, but only a few people can afford them. According to the World Bank, 7 out of 10 people live here are in poverty. To make things worse, rain is becoming scarcer, making it difficult for herders. The change in climate in the Horn of Africa has forced nomads to travel further for water and grazing. There was a cyclone at the end of 2020 and several droughts, repeated natural disasters have decimated thousands of camels and other livestock. Now pastoralists are giving up trying. Millions have shifted to cities, trying to flee hunger and desperation. Taliban has now implemented a new rule prohibiting female performers from appearing in television programs. The Taliban has ordered Afghan TV channels to stop airing dramas with female performers and has mandated that female television journalists must wear hijab on screen. The Taliban regime's latest restrictions are the new 8-point religious rules released on November 21st. Channels have been directed not to broadcast movies or entertainment shows that offend or humiliate Sharia law principles. Since the Taliban took control of Kabul on August 15th, there has been a continual stream of negative news, particularly for women and girls in Afghanistan. The hardline Islamist group has already imposed restrictions on what women are permitted to wear at universities. Most girls have been barred from entering secondary education, and women working in civil service have been subjected to restrictions. International leaders have been increasingly critical of Taliban for not having any female members in their government. All of the latest restrictions, according to the regime, are merely temporary and are in place to ensure that all workplaces are safer for women. NASA has launched a spacecraft on a mission to smash into an asteroid and test whether it could be possible to knock a speeding space rock. Of course, if it ever threatened planet Earth. The DART spacecraft shot for double asteroid redirection test lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. The mission is now being billed as humanity's first asteroid deflection test mission. It is hoped that the test might one day save Earth from an incoming rock from space. If all goes well, in September 2022, it will slam at 24 kilometers per hour into a 160 meters wide asteroid. The goal of this mission is a crash that will slow down the asteroid, and the scientists hope that the impact will change the speed of its orbit by just a fraction, which is enough to alter its orbit period by several minutes. The DART technique could prove useful for altering course of an asteroid years or decades before it heads towards our planet. Thomas Sir Buchan, Associate Administration for Science of NASA, says that we are going to bump into a soccer stadium sized asteroid that is in orbit and then measure really the change of orbit for that secondary body. The high speed smash up will occur around 11 million kilometers away and within full view of Earth ground telescopes. Scientists are constantly search for asteroids and plot their courses to determine whether they could hit our planet.